Welcome everyone to Junosuede Just Commentary. So we're gonna react to a video. We're jumping right into it. This one is World War I Oversimplified Part 2, of course. Thank you so very much for your questions. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. If you want me to react to a video, leave a comment below. Of course, in Part 1 we saw where there was a bit of war going on between Germany and the surrounding country, Russia, and of course Britain was scared to come in and so on and so forth. But it was very interesting learning about this first Part 1 World War I. Now we're gonna check out Part 2. Thank you so very much. Let's go ahead. The Part 2 World War I.
Both sides stuck in a hard stalemate. They knew this war wasn't going to be about taking territory, but about simply wearing each other down.
Ooh.
The Allies had plenty of men to expend from its overseas dominion, and the British also started a naval blockade, so Germany couldn't import stuff, like food. Neither side really wanted a long, grueling war, though, so they both thought of ways to break the deadlock on the Western Front. Idea number 1, new frontiers. When the war first broke out, Australia was quick to take German New Guinea.
Oh boy.
The Allies also quickly jumped on Germany's colonies in Africa, and particularly in German East Africa, locals were enlisted.
Germans were right in East Africa?
By both sides, leading to a tragic loss of life for the native Africans. Some of the combatants entered the war as well. The Allies
I did not know that.
Japan. Japan was busy building itself an empire, so it was more than happy to take away German islands and colonies in East Asia.
Wow.
Italy actually had an alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary before the war, but after some tense relations, and then the Allies promising to give them some of Austria-Hungary's stuff, they switched sides.
Oh boy.
Italy
just like that.
Front in the mountains here, but like everyone else, they were stuck
in shoot, fighting again.
The Central Powers' new friend was a struggling empire.
You know how much money they spend for this?
The Ottomans were divided on whether to actually join the war or not, since
they don't look like they are.
By the recent Balkan Wars. Some of the politicians who did want to join went off on their own and fired some shells at Russia. Politicians
went on their own?
Came back and said, whoops, looks like we're at war now.
Oh boy.
The Ottoman entry into the war was of particular concern to the British, since the Middle East was full of oil, and Britain did all of that. First,
what did I tell you all?
Russia in the Caucasus Mountains, but they weren't prepared for the cold, and many of them froze to death. Then they crossed miles of desert to take the Suez Canal from the British, but that failed too. Then the Allies tried to take the Dardanelles at Gallipoli in a long and hard trench warfare campaign, but that also failed. The Ottomans blamed their initial losses on the ethnic Armenians living within Ottoman territory, and the resulting Armenian genocide led to the deaths of 1.5 million people. Then the Germans sent spies into Afghanistan to try to convince the Arab tribes there to rise up in jihad against the British and attack India. But that plan failed, partly because the spies got bored, brewed their own alcohol, and got drunk, which is a bad thing to do in Afghanistan. All these new frontiers hadn't done much to change the war. Aware that the Allies had more men and supplies than them, they had to do something to break the stalemate. Before the war, there was a big conference that set out the rules of modern warfare. No chemical weapons, no killing civilians. Basically, don't be jerks.
Oh boy.
The Germans held a meeting and decided to be jerks.
Oh boy.
Zeppelin air raids commenced over British cities. No way. They also started attacking the Allied trenches with chlorine gas, and they used submarines to sink civilian ships.
Jeez, man, this one
such civilian ship was the Lusitania.
Looks like a Titanic.
59 Americans on board when it was sunk, further swaying U.S. opinion against the Germans.
Oh boy.
Not to be completely unfair to the Germans, the Allies also engaged in chemical warfare soon after, and they had been hiding anti-submarine weapons.
Remember the chemical weapon that hurt
their attacks.
Hitler? I remember it was mentioned.
Meanwhile, Austria-Hungary still hadn't dealt with Serbia, so the Central Powers enlisted some help.
How do people keep up with all this fighting?
Was bigger and was still bitter about losing the Second Balkan War. The Central Powers promised to make all of Bulgaria's dreams come true if they helped, so they signed on, and together they knocked out Serbia. The Serbian troops retreated through Albania, which was neutral but had some ties to Austria-Hungary. So Austria-Hungary entered Albania in a friendly invasion to chase down the Serbians, many of whom escaped by sea. It's 1916, and a lot is happening. As if they didn't have enough enemies already, Germany added one more to the list. Portugal had been getting a bit chummy with the Allies behind the scenes, and Germany didn't like that one bit. Around the same time, the only sea battle of the war happened. Both sides had a new powerful class of battleships called dreadnoughts, but they were so expensive to build that neither side wanted to risk losing them in a battle. So they kept them in port, except for one time when they had a big fight and a bunch of them got damaged. So they didn't try that again.
No. So why do you have it in first place? For good looks then.
So they had plenty of reserves, which is just as well because the Western Front was about to get brutal. The longest and one of the bloodiest battles of the war started when the Germans launched an attack around the French city of Verdun. The French defended it desperately, leading to hundreds of thousands of casualties.
These people were just fighting them. And if you notice, most of the flags are almost similar to each other.
So the British started their own long and brutal fight, the Battle of the Somme, with 60,000 British casualties on just the first day. It was also here that the British first used one crude, brand new piece of sci-fi technology.
That's a unique tank.
The Russians had been getting pushed back further and further into their own territory, but in response to the French call for help, they began a huge offensive and did really well until they ran out of supplies and got stuck.
Oh, shoot.
Seeing how well the Russians had been doing, Romania decided now would be a great time to jump in and win the war. And then they got
Oh my gosh, I might just keep jumping in and out.
themselves about whether to join the war or not. The king liked the Central Powers, while the Prime Minister wanted to join the Allies. After a brief national schism, during which the country split into two, the king finally abdicated and the country reunited. With Allied help, they began a new offensive. In the Middle East, Russia was pushing into Ottoman territory from the north. The British had also made a landing in Mesopotamia to protect Persia's oil fields, and they had also sent a small army up the Tigris River to try to take Baghdad. The army got sieged in the town of Kut along the way, and eventually surrendered. A new offensive was launched from the south with all-out desert warfare. The offensive was aided by one famous British officer, better known as Lawrence of Arabia, who helped lead the Arab tribes in a revolt that wreaked havoc on the Ottoman supply line. By the time 1917 rolled around, everyone was exhausted. There were mutinies in the French army, the German populace was starving, and the war had drained all of Russia's supplies.
But what's wrong with human being? Why don't we do that?
Anyone's war. The only question now was, who was going to break first? And the answer was Russia. Tired of not eating and mad that a crazy magic homeless guy was calling some of the shots, there was an uprising in Petrograd complete with riots and strikes. The riots turned into a full-scale revolution and a new government overthrew the Tsar. Then a few months later, the Bolsheviks overthrew the new government, and they pulled Russia out of the war.
Wow, that was good, I guess.
For Germany, who now only had to focus on the Western Front. But there was still one problem. The pesky United States of America was looking increasingly like it was going to join the war. America had been selling supplies to the Allies throughout the war and was getting super rich off the back of it.
The American opportunists.
So Germany sent a telegram to Mexico saying, "Wouldn't it be crazy cool if you guys attacked America?" But the British intercepted the message, showed it to the Americans, and that was the final straw. American troops began shipping out to Europe. This was terrible news for Germany.
Oh my gosh! You are serious?
France and the UK to surrender before the fresh American troops arrived. It was now or never, so they started one final attack. They converged their troops and hit hard at the Somme and pushed the Allies back. They hit a second time for the north, and again and again. With each hit, the Germans were spending more and more resources, while the Allies were getting better and better at repelling their attacks. By the fifth punch, the Allies held the line and even pushed back. With American troops now arriving in larger numbers, the Allies launched a counterattack, and that was it. The Central Powers were being pushed back on all fronts. Bulgaria collapsed first, followed by the Ottoman Empire, then Austria-Hungary, and finally on November 11th, 1918, at 11 o'clock, Germany surrendered. At the peace treaty, Germany was forced to reduce its military, accept war guilt, and pay the bill for the war. After indescribable suffering and millions dead, the world learned its lesson and never had such an awful war again. For about 20 years.
17 million people died? Jeez, so basically it's a good thing that America came on board because they prevented further death. Germany was just not giving up. But it was I find that was very interesting that Germany sent information to Mexico, and that Mexico, the British intercepted and got that information, showed it to the US, and that was amazing. So it showed that the US did not really want to join in. They only decided to join in because they felt to themselves, okay, well, Germany now want to almost get them in the war or to destroy them, so they had to take care of Germany along with the other countries. That's a very interesting part at the end there. Thank you so very much for requesting it, learning this information that you guys are requesting. I'm getting a lot of video requests for the wars and the history of the world, and I'm very interested in it because this is our world and we need to understand how things came into part or how things happen that we are here right now. Okay, thank you so very much for requesting. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. If you want me to react to a video, of course, leave a comment below. Thank you so very much. Bye guys.
I love beauty, I love splendor, I'll do all so sweet and fair. Almost surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy lamb, so like all fountains, forward, sons and daughters of this gem beyond compare. Strive for honor, sons and daughters. Do the right, be firm, be fair. Yes, toy with hearts and hands and voices. We must prosper, sound the call, in which everyone rejoices. All for each and he